Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day to start things off. Binance has posted a new update on its website announcing on Friday that it will soon delist 5 cryptocurrency projects from having fallen below the high level standard that the platform expects. They said when a coin or token no longer meets this standard or the industry changes, we conduct a more in-depth review and potentially delist it. We believe this best protects all of our users. This was said by Binance. The list of soon-to-depart assets features Modem, Salt, Cloak Coin, Wings, and Substratum. According to Binance, all of them no longer satisfy its strict listing criteria based on the factors it details as follows. It says, a lack of commitment of the team to the project, the level and quality of development activity, network and smart contract stability, level of public communication, responsiveness to our periodic due diligence requests, evidence of unethical or fraudulent conduct, contribution to a healthy and sustainable crypto ecosystem. The trading of these assets, including all associated pairs, is scheduled to be terminated at 10 a.m. next Friday, February the 22nd. On 2019, this is the second group of digital assets to be delisted by Binance in the last 4 months. In October, they delisted Bytecoin, Triggers, Chatcoin, and iEconomy. The move immediately triggered heavy sell-offs of those assets across other exchanges. Once again, pay attention to where you have your money. Pay attention to where you think you should have your money. I already explained many other times before. A lot of the cryptocurrencies that you are probably holding right now are probably, in the nicest way of saying it, crap coins. You do not need them. You should not be holding them. You probably bought them or someone else told you to buy them because they were very cheap. They were inexpensive, and during the next bull run, every single coin is going to be a winner. That's not how the next bull run is going to work. Everyone is focusing on specific coins. So please, if you happen to have any Modem, any Salt, any Cloak Coin, Wings, and or Substratum, pretty much any coin, and I mean this realistically, if you have not heard about any coin in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 months at all, and that goes across multiple platforms. That's Facebook, that's Instagram, it's Twitter, GitHub, anything. It's probably a bad sign, but yeah, make sure you know where you have your money and which coins you are holding. Make sure that they're important coins, and yeah, let's move on. Next up, I thought this one was kind of cool. The National Post Service of the small European country of Liechtenstein has confirmed it will now offer Bitcoin sales as part of its product range. In a press release, Liechtensteinische Post confirmed that as of yesterday, anyone could exchange fiat currency for Bitcoin at its branch in the capital of Vaduz. Part of the quest to expand the Post business scope, cryptocurrency sales follow on the extant fiat exchange service currently available in the branches across the country. The integration was made via a partnership with Verdux Swiss, a cryptocurrency ATM and point-of-sale payment processor for neighboring Switzerland's crypto valley community. It said, in essence, nothing is any different from the standard currency exchange procedures already part of the Post offerings. I thought this was kind of cool. This is kind of similar to the thing that we have in France, where you can go into a tobacco shop and you can also buy Bitcoin. It's very interesting. You know, you would expect major companies to start doing things like this, not like post office or like tobacco shops, but it just kind of goes to show exactly how far-reaching that we are right now and how much further reaching we can go, because typically what ends up happening is by the end of a certain market and stuff, the quarterly period, if they can show that they've made significant profit from things like this, then other places will start to mimic them as well, and then eventually we'll be able to just walk in anywhere and buy some cryptocurrency. And I think that is, to be realistic, incredibly cool, because once again, crypto is not that old, so to be able to do stuff like that is very, very cool. Let's move on. Next up, in an announcement posted on the official website a couple days ago, Ripple, the company behind the popular XRP token and other blockchain-based solutions such as XRapid, XCurrent, and XVIA, unveiled the release of an update to its XRP ledger. The product released by Ripple is a decentralized cryptographic ledger that runs on a P2P network. We know that version, the new one, 1.2.0, fixes several bugs and presents a significant number of optimizations, including the multi-sig reserve amendment, fix taker dry offer removal, and fix 1578. The company comments that it expects these amendments to be activated by the 27th of February. Very, very cool. I don't know if it's just the time frame or if these are, I don't think these are all like focused in time once again. But this is like the 5th cryptocurrency project that we've had over the last couple of, it has to be like a month and a half, that's announcing that they have updates coming. It could just be like the beginning of the year type of update thing. I'm not exactly sure the full scope of it, but everyone's announcing that they have some type of an update or like a new version of their platform is coming out. So it's either everyone's waiting for the next market to happen, or everyone is simply doing their yearly and or quarterly upgrades to their systems. It's very nice to hear that the XRP ledger has been, or is going to be in the next couple of days, going to be upgraded. Here, so this is just more of like a warning. A prolific hacker who has stolen hundreds of millions of user records from a variety of websites has struck again. The CoinMania cryptocurrency exchange said it was one of the victims of the largest hacks of user information. According to a recent Reddit post, CoinMania officials learned that about 450,000 emails and hashed passwords were stolen after a breach. Initial suspicion is that no other parts of the CoinMania system were compromised due to the dated nature of the published data. A post on CoinMania's website that the passwords and emails were posted on a dark web registry. Information about CoinMania pertains to the users who registered up until the 5th of August 2017. The individual behind the hack has gained notoriety due to the scope and breadth of stolen user records that have managed to acquire. They previously stole and put 620 million user records for sale after managing to steal the information from 16 different companies. This is more, like I said, of a warning. If you happen to have your money on CoinMama, I thought that said CoinMania. The cryptocurrency exchange is known as CoinMama. Pay attention because your information may have been stolen and or hacked, or maybe used for some other illicit activity. You should probably, in all my opinion, my personal opinion, is that you probably should be focused more on major cryptocurrency exchanges in the first place and not in, just to say, smaller ones. When you do sign up for cryptocurrency exchanges, make sure that they have some type of a clause somewhere that says that you are insured in some sort of way should you have a loss of funds, that they will pay you your money back, or try to figure out, typically the major cryptocurrency exchanges, what they do have right now is that they typically will not have more than 1% of all the crypto that exchange holds in online at the exact same time, so you are more secure and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, if you have your stuff on CoinMama, politely take it off, and also, if not, if you feel still brave enough, just change your password and stuff like that. Yeah, let's move on. Next up, Poloniex announced that it is listing Grin on its platform. At the same time, they will also be allocating a portion of all Grin transaction fees on Poloniex to the Grin General Fund. No idea what that is. The information was released by Jed Breed, digital asset lead at Circle, in a blog post about a day or two ago. A few days ago, Bittrex informed it's opened deposits for Grin as well. Poloniex and Bittrex are two of the most popular cryptocurrency exchanges offering support to the Grin virtual currency. Grin is a project that focuses on privacy and scalability. The coin also leverages the Wimble privacy protocol. So as of right now, first of all, Poloniex and Bittrex have added Grin. I think we also had news a couple of days ago that someone had added Beam. I can't remember exactly who did it. I want to say it was Bittrex or Bitfinex. A lot of them sound the same. And what was the other part that I wanted to talk about? Don't remember. Oh, yeah. No, that was it. Yeah, so Beam and Grin are being added on across different platforms right now. They still have not, at least to my knowledge, been added to Binance, at least at the moment. But I assume that's coming, and that's kind of going to be the price point of no return, because everyone's going to go completely insane when it gets listed on these things. I have a strong feeling that Grin will probably never be listed on Coinbase, because I don't think that there's a thing where you can unshield your transactions. But I think Beam has a feature where you can either send private and or non-private transactions. So assumption at some point we're going to get Beam listed on Coinbase. Probably not this year because they take forever doing anything, but I think it will eventually happen. And anyway, kind of cool that they are finally being added to different currency exchanges after being out for just about a month. And yeah, let's move on. Next up, Indonesia has introduced new legislation that requires Bitcoin as a trading commodity. Asia-oriented news outlet KRAsia reported yesterday. Indonesia's Commodity Future Trading Regulatory Agency, also known as BAPETI, initially signed a decree to make cryptocurrency a commodity future legally tradable on stock exchanges last June. The agency then stated that the Indonesian government would soon release corresponding legislation regulating currency exchange companies, taxation, and other related issues. Today, BAPETI reportedly approved Regulation Number 5 for 2019 that recognizes Bitcoin and other digital currencies as a trading commodity. The legislation thus gives legal certainty to cryptocurrency exchanges that have been already operating in the country. The new policy reportedly outlines a set of requirements in regards to any cryptocurrency circulating in Indonesia. Specifically, cryptocurrencies have to comply with risk assessment, AML, and combating the financing of terrorism requirements. The policy also stipulates that cryptocurrency traders must have transaction histories for at least 5 years and have a server located inside the country. Very good that they at least gave some type of regulation. They may not be the most friendliest regulations that we have out in the cryptocurrency space. However, a lot of this was to be expected, especially if you run a cryptocurrency exchange or if you're running any type of ICO. They always want to know the anti-money laundering things. It pretty much means letting them know what you're doing, and as well as the combating of finance and terrorism. Pretty much you have to tell them exactly where the money's being sent to and where it was being sent from, what have you, so on and so forth. But it's nice that it is apparently, according to this, considered a commodity as opposed to being a security. And I don't think there's I was going to say, I don't think there's been a country yet that has considered Bitcoin as a security, but I think there may be at least one. There's always that one country that does something like that. I'm not exactly sure how that country is dealing with or how they view securities, but as of right now, very good news, at least for the people in Indonesia. Here we go. Next up, the clock has just started on the latest effort to launch a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, announced it was beginning its review of a Bitcoin ETF rule change filed by the New York Stock Exchange ARCA and Bitwise Asset Management on the 11th of February, and the proposal itself was published to the Federal Register that was yesterday, meaning the regulator now has 45 days to make its initial decision on whether to approve, reject, or extend the proposal. The SEC has at most 240 days to make a final decision on whether to approve or reject the ETF. Members of the general public looking to file responses to the change rule proposal have 3 weeks to submit any comments. Many advocates of Bitcoin ETFs believe the funds will bring new investors and increase liquidity to the market. New York Stock Exchange, ARCA, and Bitwise announced their intention to launch a Bitcoin ETF early this year, filing the rule change proposed the same day. However, due to the government shutdown, the SEC did not publish the filing in the Federal Register, meaning the agency was not examining the proposal. Still winter, you gotta forgive me. So here we go. The countdown has officially begun. I'm going to assume that I still have a cold. I'm going to assume that we're probably not going to have one in the next 45 days. If we did, I'd send a personal letter to the SEC congratulating them on finally getting something done. I'm going to, I hate to even say it, the fact that I think it could take 240 days is probably the most worrisome, because it doesn't take 240 days. The only saving grace that we have here right now is that it's by the New York Stock Exchange. So one can or should logically assume that as one of the largest stock exchanges, if not the largest in the entire world, they should know what they need to do. Logically speaking, they probably have, if the Ripple team has people from the SEC working with them as well, one can only assume that people from the New York Stock Exchange probably have at least 10 people who are hyper knowledgeable about securities and or working already with the SEC on their team to tell them exactly what they need to put, because, you know, the New York Stock Exchange isn't really putting anything into a registry just to be denied. They're not these, to put it lightly, they're not the CBOE and they're not Van Eck, as great and as powerful and as awesome as they might be. They are the New York Stock Exchange, so they probably should have all their ducks or cookies or bats or whatever in a row. I don't know what people, eggs in a row, whatever people put in a row. The point is, let's hope that this actually ends up going through. I, for one, am tired of saying the words ETF. Like, really though? It should have been approved years ago. This is why I said that probably the only saving grace is that I believe that the CBOE, the Van Eck Solid X thing, was resubmitted after the New York Stock Exchange had already put theirs in. So if we have a wonderful sequence of events, it should be that the New York Stock Exchange has their Bitcoin ETF approved, then in a couple days later, we have the Van Eck Solid X CBOE one also approved. 2 in 1 year, it's not impossible. It's just a matter of, logically speaking, they're the New York Stock Exchange. They probably spoke with the people from the SEC and said, look at this over and over, tell us if we have everything right, submitted it for approval, because I doubt that they just kind of typed something up with one of their secretaries and kind of handed it in. I assume they've gone through multiple channels to make sure that this goes through. Anyway, the point is there's a new filing, or rather it has now entered the federal registry. So let's hope that it ends up being approved so that we can all move on in the market. To kind of finish things off, the European nation of Luxembourg has just passed a bill providing a legal framework for securities issued over blockchains. According to a notice published on Thursday, the country's Chamber of Deputies, the country's parliament, passed the bill on February 14th, with 58 members supporting the legislation and only 2 voting against it. Title Bill 7363. The legislation is intended to provide financial market participants with legal certainty for issuing securities using blockchain technology. They said the bill should provide greater certainty for investors to make the transfer of securities more efficient by reducing the number of intermediaries, end quote. Luxembourg, an EU member nation, passed a bill making it possible to legally issue dematerialized securities in April 2013 via an amendment of securities that was passed in 2001. Very nice to hear that we have multiple countries now around the world who are giving, and I mean officially now, because remember I was a little frustrated at the beginning of this year and at the end of last year that no country had come forward, and now we have multiple countries almost every single day talking about exactly what they're going to be doing with cryptocurrencies and how they're going to be dealing with them and how they're going to be taxed and what you have to do if you are running a cryptocurrency exchange and or making an ICO. So it's very nice to hear that, at least at this point, I think it just comes down to, I think the EU this summer when they said they were going to try and provide something for the entirety of the European Union, wherein they give a, it's kind of like how the banking system works in the EU. They kind of all have these, the same kind of payment method, like the banks can share information between themselves. I'm pretty sure that they're just making something like that so that banks can share information, or cryptocurrency exchanges can share information with the governments between themselves. But besides that, it's just pretty much the EU for the finalization and for the US to kind of give us anything, even like a biscuit, like a little crumb or something, just to tell us exactly what's going on. We did hear from Hester Pierce a couple of days ago talking about that. She said regulation is coming. That probably means in about 4.5 years. Anyway, good to see that the rest of the world is at least moving forward. At the moment, surprisingly, the market's moving sideways. And like, you see little jumps here, but we're still like, nothing's really down, nothing's really up. I saw a lot of ridiculous news articles. I didn't include them in this video because I don't have the energy for that, talking about how XRP was in trouble because of the new JP Morgan coin. First of all, the JP Morgan coin is a stable coin, and they're only going to be using it within their own little banking thing. They have no other partnerships with any other banks. It's not that other banks have stopped using XRP simply because JP Morgan's new coin coming out. Tired of reading articles like that. Anyway, the point is, the market's not doing bad. Usually, before in the past, we would have like red weekends, but now we have these like slightly optimistic weekends as we end up going forward. Hopefully, if it lasts until tomorrow, like a nice solid wave of green, we should maybe hopefully see some type of movements up on Monday. It would be nice. All right, everybody. That is definitely going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are. Wherever in this crazy world you might be, I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. I do appreciate all of your support. And as always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. They are singer-songwriter Mike Savitz, Nick Kanaya, Anthony Charles, Yasha Harari, Gordon Nikic, Travis Haynes, Nick Mangia Lavori, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Arthur Yaku, L. Doug, Brady Niels, Rai, Gil Boa Snake, Vlad the Impaler, and Zoltar 2. Thank you all very much for your generosity. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.